The American horses, aside from, carrying us through history and fighting in every single solitary war, no animal on earth has ever done for mankind what a horse has done for mankind. Aside from all that, the myth is that this is an unwanted horse euthanasia, and it isn't. Horse breeding is very similar to the puppy mills in many cases. The horses that are being slaughtered are not an excess of horses that aren't being cared for in the country. That's one of the myths. The horses that are being slaughtered are the young, fat, healthy horses because they're eating them in Europe. They're not eating old horses. They're not eating old meat. They're eating, D'Artagnan here, who was saved from a feedlot. When horses go through auction, there are kill buyers at every auction. And the kill buyers are, the legitimate ones are contracted, and they have to fill loads going to a slaughterhouse. Those kill buyers meet their quota. They meet their quota on their trucks. If they got to steal the horses, they meet their quota. Otherwise, they lose their job. I don't know how many times I've heard the story of, oh my God, I just saw my horse go through, Camelot. What's he doing there? This dealer promised me he had an amazing home in Pennsylvania with 40 acres and a kid waiting for him. And this is what they think. And that's not the reality. The transport is honestly one of the worst parts of it. You have a horse, you've taken him away from his family. They're weighed, they're tagged, they're shipped up to Canada right now. They load them on the truck like sardines. The horses have hooves. They're very slippery. The footing, they're dropping manure, they're urinating on the floor. They're scared to death. You just cover your, they're scared to death, and it's horrible because they're running around trying to, you'll have stallions, you'll have mares, you'll have horses biting other horses, you'll have blind horses, you'll have pregnant horses. I don't care what they say they can't slaughter. We've yanked them out of there. By the time they get off the truck, what's left of them, you usually have one walking off with, a leg severed half off, eyes popped out of their heads. A horse that took care of their little kid rider for the last 15 years. I mean, one of them got killed in the pen at the feedlot before they even loaded him up. They put them in the same, because it's one feedlot holding pen. They put them together. The horses attacked the little old Girl Scout horses, and they killed one of them. I mean, right there. The horses they're screaming for their people. They don't understand. Cupid screaming on the video. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand what they did to be here in the first place. And then they get loaded, if they're alive, onto the truck and brought to slaughter and unloaded in whatever pieces they have left of them. And then if it's 5 o'clock, you're left there. And if they think you're going to run away in Mexico, your spine is severed and you'll lay there paralyzed. You cannot move until, the next day. Hit 10 times in the neck with this spike before actually hitting them in the head. It doesn't kill them on impact. It's meant to stun them so that the worker can get in, hoist them up and slit their throat. So, what do you have? 80% of the horses lifted by their hind leg with their throats slit, and they're on a time frame. They must slaughter X amount of horses before 5 o'clock that day. They're not going to wait for him to bleed out. There's nothing merciful about this. There's documentation all over the place. Horses literally being dismembered alive. They're being skinned alive. They're being dismembered alive. And the ultimate betrayal is this is an animal that they give their entire soul to the human to work for them. This was somebody's partner. He knows where he is. He knows who he is. Most commonly slaughtered is still that 8-year-old fat quarter horse, and they're getting top dollar for the horses that they're pulling off of Craigslist out of backyards. They're splitting up families. Horses bond. They bond to people. They bond to to other horses. And 5 applications to open slaughterhouses in the United States are 5 days away from being approved. In 5 days, you could have an open slaughterhouse. You need to call your congressman, basically, and tell him, stop the slaughter. I'm afraid he's going to pop Cowboy and I'm going to be there. You need to stop the transport to slaughter. And I mean, the whole thing could stop if you just stop it at the source. If people want to really make a difference in the life of one horse, anywhere, somewhere close to them is a rescue that they can, go see the horse. Look at the horse, donate to the horse, promise this horse that until the day he dies, they're going to buy him a bale of hay a month. That would make the biggest difference right across the country. The whole entire country would change with that $15 a month to the one local rescue. The pain and the terror are absolutely unacceptable in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if you like horses or not. It's just you have a moral obligation to not cause another being harm. That's just a fact of life. Those people that are on the front line, they have to stand there and watch, and they document and they post it over and over and over. And what the hell does it take for a person to stop and say, you know what, maybe this is the wrong thing to do? That's all that I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, is to see it from the horse's point of view.